My homily for the baptism of the Lord, the 12th of January 2025. The baptism of Jesus was a bit of a problem for the early church because Jesus, the sinless one, did not need to be baptized. He certainly did not need to receive a baptism of repentance from John the Baptist. So what is it all about? Well, God didn't have to become a man. He didn't have to empty himself, as St. Paul so memorably puts it. He didn't have to suffer and to die, but he did it for us out of love. So in the same way, he accepted John's baptism as a sign of love and humility, and to give us an example to follow. He wants us all to get baptized and to become a part of his Christian family. With our God, it's not just a case of do as I say, but it's also a case of do as I do. He doesn't ask us to do anything that he was not prepared to do himself. Jesus leads by example and shows us how important baptism is for us all. The sacrament that brings us into the family of God, the church, the sacrament that is the gateway to all the other sacraments. Our first reading today speaks of God's servant. He will not cry aloud or lift up his voice or make it heard in the street. God's servant takes a quiet, humble, gentle approach. God's servant is Jesus, the suffering servant. Our second reading says, God shows no partiality, but in every nation, anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him. Thus reinforcing the message of last Sunday, the Epiphany, God in Jesus came for everyone. No one need be excluded from Jesus' loving way unless he chooses to exclude himself. I find it most uplifting when I think how God revealed himself to us in Jesus. But it is also challenging. After he has gone to such lengths to reach out to us, what excuse can we have for turning away from him? I must admit that I would find it difficult to follow a God who revealed himself to us only in might, power, anger, and justice. I can follow a God who reveals himself to us in love, forgiveness, gentleness, and humility. For I feel that I, weak sinner that I am, have a chance with such a God.